Hello, dear one. Namaste. Sit comfortably with your back straight and erect. And let's begin with Devi Kriya. We'll start with chanting 3 Oms with the clear intention of connecting and invoking our higher self and all the divine energies. Now let's invoke all the divine Mahadevis with the Beej mantra. Om Aim 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 Hreem 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 Shreem 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 Clean, clean, clean. Namaha. We'll start with phase 1, energizing our chakras. Visualize that a beautiful beam of golden white light is flowing from above, from your higher self, towards your physical body, entering through your crown chakra, and with each step, entering into all your chakras and energizing them. Step 1, energizing third eye pranayam. Put your 2 fingers in between your eyebrows and start from your left nostril. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Relax. Now move your awareness going down towards your heart chakra. See this light entering and energizing it. Hold the Chin Mudra and let us begin. Step 2, energizing heart pranayam. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Relax. Now move your awareness going further down towards your navel area, energizing your third and second chakra. Hold the Dhyan Mudra and let's begin step 3, energizing navel pranayam. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Relax. Now move your awareness further down towards your root chakra and see this light entering and energizing it. You can flatten out your thumbs and let's begin with step 4, energizing root pranayam. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Relax. Now allow all this light flowing through you to make its way further down from your root, traveling all the way down into the center of Mother Earth and blending with the light inside her core. Now let's chant one more Om and move to phase 2, cleansing our chakras. Now see your higher self pouring down beautiful soul feelings of love, joy, peace, harmony, creativity, abundance, all that you need at this moment. And see it all flowing towards you from above, entering you from your crown. And with every step, see it dissolving and brushing away everything that no longer serves you and replacing it with these beautiful soul feelings. We'll start with step 1, cleansing third eye pranayam or Nadi Shodhan. Relax. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Now let's move to step 2, cleansing heart pranayam or Bhastrika. Relax. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Now move your awareness going further down and see these soul feelings entering your third and second chakra. We'll start with step 3, cleansing navel pranayam or Kapalbhati. Relax. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Now, finally, let's move our awareness and see these soul feelings moving into your root chakra. Let's do step 4, cleansing root pranayam or root pastrika. Relax. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Now see all these soul feelings moving further down from your root, making their way all the way into the center, the core of Mother Earth. And see Mother Earth absorbing all of this so joyfully. Now let's chant another Om and move to phase 3, harmonizing our chakras. Now see this portal of light from your higher self further expanding, flooding you, entering you from your crown, and with every breath, see yourself becoming lighter and lighter. We'll start with step 1, rhythmic third eye pranayam. slowly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Now let's move to step 2, rhythmic heart pranayam. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out slowly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now move your awareness further, going down towards your navel area, and see all this light in your third and second chakra. Let's start with step 3, rhythmic navel pranayam. this light entering into your root chakra, we move to step 4, rhythmic root pranayam. Relax, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly. Breathe in, breathe out. Empty, silent. You're in a space of suspended breath, no mind, no breath, and remain in this space for as long as you can. Completely empty and silent. And when you need to take a breath, you can gently do so and see all this light that is flowing to the core of Mother Earth. See Mother Earth fully lit up with your own divine light of your higher self. And now, in this beautiful enlightened space, let us thank all the Mahadevis and the divine energies present, helping, guiding, and protecting us through this Kriya with the heartfelt Devi Mantra. या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः Now let us chant 3 Oms before we can close. You may rub your palms, cup your eyes, and slowly, in the cup of your palms,
Keep your eyes closed. Feel the joy of your body. Devi Kriya. It's like a dance of breath with the body. And if you surrender in joy, then you become aware of this very pleasant, joyous feeling of the body. It's not like a mental joy, it's the body. It has its own feeling, own consciousness, very rooting, very stabilizing. It is because it gently takes you out of the background noise of the mind, the consciously thinking mind, and the unconscious mental noise. that continues just like your other body physical processes, like the blood is running in your veins, heart is pumping, all is happening without your permission. Similarly, the unconscious background noise continues, does not need your permission, and Devi Kriya will melt that. हिंदी में भी बोलेंगे तो आंखें बंद करके अभी जो देवी क्रिया करी उसका एक सूक्ष्म आनंद है जो आप अपने शरीर में महसूस करते हैं, क्योंकि पूरे शरीर से आप देवी क्रिया करते हैं। एक तरह का नृत्य होने लगता है शरीर में सांसों का। शरीर में एक खुशी आने लगती है, एक अजीब सा आनंद जो मानसिक खुशियों से परे है, जो केवल शरीर की खुशी है जीवित होने की। उस खालीपन को आप महसूस करने लगते हैं और मन शांत होने लगता है। मन का जो चेतन मन है, कॉन्शियस माइंड, उसको तो आप जान ही लेते हैं, मगर जो अचेतन मन है, अनकॉन्शियस माइंड, वो चलता रहता है जैसे नसों में खून बहता है, जैसे हृदय की गति चलती रहती है। वो एक तरह से अपने आप अचेतन में चलता रहता है और उसको शांत करने के लिए देवी क्रिया बहुत ही अच्छी प्रकृति है। तो इस शांति को, इस खुशी को अनुभव करिए। Anybody there in Telugu? I know Anusha ji shared an incident. Her father had a heart attack, so he's in a hospital. So she's not with us. If not, we'll continue. Let me know if anybody wants to translate, otherwise, we'll continue.
ఈజ్ ఎవరన్నా తెలుగు వాళ్ళు ఎవరన్నా ఉన్నారండి ఇప్పుడు ఈ గ్రూప్ లో? ఉంటే నేను తెలుగులో ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేస్తాను. లేదు అంటే కనుక మన ఆనంద్ సార్ చెప్పినట్టుగా మనం ముందుకు వెళ్దాం. Anandji, I think I was asking, is anyone Telugu people are there? Then I will translate.
Okay. Maybe they're
But
not joined.
maybe no one seems to be there, so I'm not translating. You can continue, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
So let's look at today's chapter. Beautiful chapter, from thoughts and emotions to soul feelings. विचारों और मनोभावनाओं से आत्म भावनाओं की ओर. So if you may have noticed, just before we started, maybe if you had some dreams, maybe some thoughts were there, and after Devi Kriya, the mind is more silent, and you can feel the joy of the body. You're more present. And this was just one method, a powerful method, though, to take you into the depths of today's chapter, which is from thoughts and emotions to soul feelings. आपने अभी देखा होगा, अगर आप सुबह उठे और अगर कुछ मन चल रहा था, सपने आए थे, तो ये देवी क्रिया करने से ही आप विचारों और अपनी मनोभावनाओं से आत्म भावनाओं यानी कि जो शरीर की जो खुशी, शांति महसूस करी, वो शून्यता, वो आपको आत्म भावनाओं में ले जाती है। हमने देखा था कि पिछले अध्याय में आत्म भावनाओं के बारे में बताया था। आत्म भावनाएं जैसे कि अनंत समुंदर हैं, प्रेम के, करुणा के, आपके अंदर का जो एक मूल आनंद है, उसके सारी ये जो आत्म भावनाएं हैं, एक अनंत स्वतंत्रता, एक असीम शांति, जो हम जानते हैं बचपन से, जो ढक जाती हैं विचारों से, ढक जाती हैं मन की भावनाओं से, जिनको हम मनोभावनाएं कहेंगे। कुछ नए शब्द बना रहे हैं, क्योंकि वैसे तो भावना ही बोलते हैं, मगर दो तरह की भावनाएं हैं। एक है इमोशंस, मन की भावनाएं, और दूसरी है आत्म भावनाएं, सोल फीलिंग्स, जो असीम शांति, खुशी, स्वतंत्रता, जो करुणा, प्रेम, जो मूल आनंद आप महसूस करते थे बचपन से, जिसको आप भूल गए, मन में आ गए, मन चलने लगा, उन अनंत समुद्रों में जाना है। और उसके अंदर भी एक खालीपन है, एक असीम शून्यता है, जो हम जानते हैं, जो आत्मा जानती है, उसमें जाना है। So this is what we are saying as we feel the joy of the body with Devi Kriya. We get a glimpse of soul feelings. And that's the chapter today, how to go from your thoughts and emotions, the world of the mind, the limited world, limited desires, finite happiness, which is good, but it's finite. How to enter from that into the world of soul feelings, the oceans of soul feelings, the joy, compassion, the freedom, the peace, all with a sense of deep emptiness, the presence that you knew from your childhood that was lost. Nature lives in that. Trees and animals can feel it. How do we go back to our soul? The soul has memories of all this. It has just now been hidden by thoughts and emotions. And Devi Kriya is one method to get to that. There are many ways to explore this topic. What ends up happening is why becomes difficult. Thoughts and emotions by themselves are not difficult. Children feel them too, children experience them too. What is one difference you think a child of 5 years? They also cry, they also feel emotions, they also get jealous, they also think, and you also. What is one difference between them and you? How is their mind different from your mind? Both of you think, both of you have emotions. Of course, they don't have so much knowledge and maturity, they don't have so much experience. But fundamentally, both are thinking, both have emotions. There is one thing that the child does not have, and that is ego. The ego is at a very nascent stage. It's not active. A child can get in a fight, and next moment they are friends. Adults get into a fight, and it takes them 6 months or a year sometimes to talk again. Why? Because ego. And this is the reason, this is the entanglement. Thoughts, we will discuss what kinds of thoughts and all kinds of emotions. By definition, emotions are centered around your sense of self, your ego, anger, hate, jealousy, envy, fear. All of them have to do with your ego. Also, the ego lives in all of them. If there's absolutely no sense of identity, then there cannot be fear. The fear is losing the sense of self, the danger to the self, whether it is identified as the body or somebody challenging your belief system or somebody challenging or insulting your position, your status. That creates fear. So the ego is deeply connected. Ego is deeply connected to all the emotions. A lot of times, your thoughts, which you think are just thoughts, have subtle ego in them. There are many thoughts of comparison, comparisons of your identities. It could be your religion, it could be your country playing a sports match, and you go on thinking, and those thoughts have a sense of ego in them. So both your thoughts and emotions contain the ego, and ego entraps you into the mind. Now the journey has become very difficult. You have come from puberty, childhood to puberty, to teenage years, and now you become an adult. And if society has played its part, then you have your thoughts and emotions tied to your ego, and now the drama will play out in your life until you come to meditation, see these entanglements, and have a yearning to get back to the childhood when you knew purity, simplicity of life. And this is the journey we take. तो हिंदी में भी इसको बताएंगे। ये जो हमारी यात्रा है, जिसमें विचार चलते रहते हैं, भावनाएं जिनको हम मनोभावनाएं कह रहे हैं, मन की भावनाएं जैसे कि डर, क्रोध, घृणा, द्वेष, लालच, ये जो सारी भावनाएं हैं, इनमें भी ये बच्चों में भी होती है, बड़ों में भी होती है, और विचार बच्चों में भी होते हैं, बड़ों में भी होते हैं। तो ये जो भावनाएं हैं, एक बच्चे को भी जलन महसूस होती है, आपको भी। बच्चे को भी गुस्सा आता है, आपको भी। फर्क क्या है? फर्क ये है कि एक बच्चे में अहम भावना इतनी जागृत नहीं हुई है। हल्की छोटी सी रूप में है वो। पिछले जन्मों की यादों से, कर्मों से अहम है, मगर बहुत हल्की छवि है उसकी। इसीलिए बच्चे 1 सेकंड लड़ाई करेंगे, दूसरे सेकंड वापस फ्रेंडशिप। बच्चे बातों को पकड़ कर नहीं रखते, मगर अहम होने के कारण जब एक उम्र में आप बड़े हो जाते हैं, तो उस बड़ी उम्र में झगड़ा हुआ, आप उसको याद रखेंगे कई महीनों तक। बच्चे ऐसा नहीं करते। तो इसका सारांश यही है कि विचारों और भावनाओं यानी मनोभावनाओं के अंदर अहम आ जाता है। आपके गुस्से में अहम आ जाता है, प्योर गुस्सा नहीं है। आपके लालच में अहम है, आपकी घृणा में अहम है, आपके डर में भी अहम है। डर किस बात का? अगर कोई अहम नहीं, कोई मैंपन नहीं, तो किस बात का डर? डर आपको बचाता है, आपके शरीर को, आपके मन को, आपकी इमेज को, आपने जो कुछ आप हो, कोई उसकी बेइज्जती करता है, तो उसका भी डर लग सकता है। स्टेज पे स्पीच देनी है तो लोगों को स्टेज फ्राइट हो जाती है, लोग क्या कहेंगे? वो भी अहम है, उसके कारण डर लगता है। तो ये सारी मनोभावनाएँ, इनमें छुपा है अहम, जो बढ़ जाता है बचपन के बाद। जैसे-जैसे आप बड़े हो जाते हैं, वो बढ़ जाता है और विचारों में भी अहम आ जाता है। कई तरह के विचार जिनमें धारणाएँ होती है, मान्यताएँ, बिलीफ्स होती हैं, दृष्टिकोण होते हैं, पर्सपेक्टिव्स, इन सब में अहम में मौजूद होता है। तो विचार और मनोभावनाएँ, इनको जकड़ लेता है, पकड़ लेता है अहम, और आपका जीवन चलता है जैसे-जैसे बड़े हो जाते हो, इस पकड़ में चलते रहते हो। अहम के कारण कई काम करते हो, करियर बनाते हो, ये करते हो, वो करते हो, एक दौड़ में चले जाते हो और उस दौड़ से अगर लकी हो, अगर आँखें खुल गई, तो मेडिटेशन, ध्यान, ये आपकी ज़िंदगी में आता है, देवी क्रिया आती है या और भी क्रियाएँ आती है, आनापानसति, श्वास आ जाता है और धीरे-धीरे आप अपने आप को जानने लगते हो कि मैं तो अहम के कारण इन भावनाओं में, इन विचारों में फँसा हुआ हूँ। शून्यता नहीं है, शांति नहीं है। तो इस अध्याय में ये ही है कि कैसे अपने आप को देखने से अहम की पकड़ कम हो जाएगी, कैसे अपने शरीर के प्रयोग से, साँसों से आप अहम को कम कर सकते हैं, कैसे आत्म भावनाओं से जुड़ के अहम कम हो सकता है और कैसे अपनी शून्यता, अपने आत्मन को जान के, अपने हायर सेल्फ को जान के, कैसे देव-देवियों में भी समर्पण करके, कैसे उस श्रद्धा से, उस भक्ति से आप अपने अहम को कम कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि अहम कम हो गया, तो ये विचार, ये मनोभावनाएँ, ये आपको पकड़ कर नहीं रखेंगे। नहीं तो सालों निकल जाते हैं अहम में जीते हुए। हालाँकि कई लोग उसको अपना अहम नहीं बोलेंगे, मगर एक हल्का-सा अहम ही है। एक नया शब्द भी, हाँ, कुछ-कुछ नए शब्द हैं, तो इसका कुछ डिस्कशन करते हैं। कितने तरह की विचारधाराएँ होती हैं, जिनको हम थॉट एग्रीगेट्स बोलते हैं इंग्लिश में। कितने तरह की विचारधाराएँ होती हैं, के बारे में सोचिए। तो विचारधाराएँ कहाँ-कहाँ होती हैं? आप जो भी पर्सीव करते हैं, परसेप्शन, बच्चा उसी आसमान को देख रहा है और बड़ा भी उसी आसमान को देख रहा है। बच्चे को एक असीम शून्यता, एक खुशी नज़र आती है, एक एक बहुत ही अ, अनुभव होता है नीले आकाश का, जिससे खुशी आ जाती है शून्यता की, और उसी आकाश को, नीले आसमान को एक बड़ा देखता है और उसको अपने टेंशन्स में डूबा हुआ है, उसको कुछ नहीं दिखता। दोनों के परसेप्शन में क्या फ़र्क है? एक का मन खाली है बच्चे का, बड़े का मन भरा हुआ है। तो ये आपके परसेप्शन में आ जाता है। तो इसके लिए एक शब्द बनाया है। शब्द कुछ वर्ड्स के हैं नहीं भाषाओं में, तो परसेप्शन को हम बोलेंगे मनोभूति। इंद्रभूति होती है एक्सपीरियंस, अनुभूति एक्सपीरियंस, इंद्रभूति आपका सेंसरी एक्सपीरियंस, और मनोभूति आपका परसेप्शन। हल्का-हल्का फ़र्क होता है ना? एक्सपीरियंस कुछ और है, सेंसरी कॉग्निशन, इंद्रभूति कुछ और है, और परसेप्शन में हल्का-सा मन मिला हुआ होता है। अलग-अलग लोगों का अलग-अलग परसेप्शन, तो इसलिए मनोभूति। तो आप में मनोभूतियाँ जो हैं या मनोभूति आपकी है, वो आपका देखना है, जो देख रहे हैं, उसको कैसे महसूस कर रहे हैं, वो मनोभूति है। आप समुद्र को देख रहे हैं, कैसे एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं, कैसे परसीव कर रहे हैं। तो इन मनोभूतियों में भी, इन मनोभूतियों में इमोशंस हो सकते हैं, इन मनोभूतियों में हल्का-सा अहम हो सकता है, आ सकता है। मगर ये एक तरह की विचारधारा है मनोभूति। 7 तरह की विचारधाराएँ हैं, जैसे परसेप्शंस, पहले इंग्लिश में कहेंगे फिर हिंदी में। परसेप्शंस, जजमेंट्स, बिलीफ्स, फिर उसके बाद पर्सपेक्टिव्स, फिर एक्सपेक्टेशंस, इंटेंशंस और आइडेंटिटीज। तो एक-एक को देखिए। परसेप्शंस, मनोभूतियाँ, जैसे आप दुनिया को देखते हैं, परसीव करते हैं, महसूस करते हैं। जजमेंट्स, इसके कई वर्ड्स हैं, मगर धारणाएँ जो हैं आपकी, वो थोड़ा क्लोज़ है। जो कितने तरह की धारणाएँ हैं? धारणाएँ वैसे तो जजमेंट्स और बिलीफ्स के बीच में एक शब्द है, मगर इसको हम जजमेंट्स कहेंगे, आपकी धारणाएँ। फिर आपकी मान्यताएँ, बिलीफ्स, क्या मान्यताएँ हैं? और धारणाओं और मान्यताओं में आप खोए रहते हैं। जैसे-जैसे बड़े हो जाते हैं, इनमें हर तरह की धारणाएँ, हर तरह की मान्यताएँ आ जाती हैं। और इन धारणाओं और मान्यताओं में कइयों में एक विभाजक मन होता है, एक अहम से भरा मन, अहम की भावना, ये सब मौजूद होते हैं। मगर ये जो 7 तरह की विचारधाराएँ हैं, पहले उनको समझ लें। उन सब में मन होता है, उन सब में भावनाएँ आ सकती है, अहम आ सकता है। तो मनोभूतियाँ, परसेप्शंस, धारणाएँ, जजमेंट्स, फिर आपके मान्यताएँ, कई तरह की मान्यताएँ से जीवन में एक एक घनत्व आ जाता है, डेंसिटी आ जाती है, क्योंकि आप उसी में खो जाते हैं। मान्यताएं बन जाते हैं आप, धारणाएं आप बन जाते हैं, वो शून्यता गायब हो जाती है। और उसके बाद दृष्टिकोण, इन धारणाओं और मान्यताओं से एक आपका जीवन को देखने का दृष्टिकोण बन जाता है, पर्सपेक्टिव्स ये बन जाता है। सबके सबके अलग-अलग दृष्टिकोण होते हैं। कई शादियों में, कई रिलेशनशिप्स में यही तो प्रॉब्लम है, दृष्टिकोण अलग है आपका देखने का और आपके पति और पत्नी के देखने का। और रोज झगड़े होते हैं क्योंकि दृष्टिकोण अलग हो गया है। और फिर उसके बाद एक्सपेक्टेशंस, यानी कि अपेक्षाएं। आप क्या अपेक्षा करते हैं एक दूसरे से, और ये अपेक्षाएं रहती हैं। वो ही रिश्ता, जब बॉयफ्रेंड गर्लफ्रेंड थे, बहुत खुशी थी, शादी हो गई, सब कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया। क्यों? अपेक्षा आ गई। अब ये मेरा हस्बैंड है, इसको ये करना चाहिए, ये मेरी वाइफ है, क्योंकि ये सोसाइटी, समाज के दिए हुए रोल्स हैं। जब तक आप रिलेशनशिप में थे तो ये अपेक्षाएं नहीं थी। अब वही रिश्ता पति पत्नी का हो गया, अपेक्षाएं आ गई। एक वाइफ को ऐसे करना चाहिए, हस्बैंड को वैसे करना चाहिए। तो इन अपेक्षाओं में आप खो जाते हैं। एक्सपेक्टेशंस जो सारे रिश्तों को खराब कर देते हैं। तो ये हो गया पांचवा। इसके बाद है इंटेंशंस। आप कई तरह के संकल्प या इरादे कह सकते हैं, कई तरह के संकल्प बनाते हैं, इंटेंशंस बनाते हैं। और इन संकल्पों में भी मन की भावनाएं और अहम हो सकता है। आप एक गुस्से से संकल्प बना सकते हैं कि मैं तो ऐसा करके रहूंगा, इसने मेरी बदनामी करी, बेइज्जती करी, मैं इसको दिखा के रहूंगा मैं कौन हूं। संकल्प बना दिया। अब उस संकल्प से आप चले जा रहे हैं और जीवन में एक टेंशन आ गया है। ये सब होता है, ये भी एक विचारधारा है। फिर जो लास्ट है, जो सातवीं, वो है आइडेंटिटीज। इसका भी ऐसा कोई हिंदी में शब्द नहीं है। तो इसका एक शब्द है स्वयं रूप। आपके कई स्वयं रूप हैं। स्वयं तो आपका सेल्फ है, मगर कई रूप से है ना। आप कौन हैं? मैं, आपकी आइडेंटिटी क्या है? कई तरह की आइडेंटिटीज है, कई तरह के स्वयं रूप हैं आपके। मैं एक इंडियन हूँ, मैं हस्बैंड हूँ, मैं फादर हूँ, मेरा ऐसा जॉब है, मैं एक्टर हूँ, जर्नलिस्ट हूँ। जो भी आपकी आइडेंटिटी बन जाती है कि ये मैं हूँ, भले ही रिश्ते में हो, करियर में हो, देश में हो, धर्म में हो, आइडेंटिटीज बन जाती हैं, स्वरूप। ये जो स्वयं के रूप हैं, स्वयं रूप। तो इन 7 विचारधाराओं में आप खोए रहते हैं। ये विचारधाराएं, इनसे विचार उत्पन्न होते हैं। इन पे अगर आप ध्यान दें और इनको एक कोमलता में ले आए, इनको एक तरह से पिघलाने लगे, शून्यता में लाने लगे। वो तब होगा जब अहम जो इनसे जुड़ा है वो कम होगा, जो मनोभावनाएं, जो क्रोध, जो घृणा, जो डर, जो इस तरह की मन की भावनाएं जुड़ गई हैं इन विचारधाराओं से, आपकी धारणाओं में हैं, आपकी मान्यताओं में हैं, आपके दृष्टिकोण में हैं, आपके स्वयं के रूपों में हैं, आपकी अपेक्षाओं में हैं, आपके संकल्पों में हैं। ये सारी जो इमोशंस हैं ये घुस गए हैं, तो ये बहुत बड़ा नेटवर्क बन जाता है, जाल बन जाता है। इस जाल में आप फंस जाते हैं, क्योंकि जाल में 7 तरह की विचार धाराएं हैं, और ये विचारधाराओं को अहम ने पकड़ लिया है भावनाओं के साथ। अब यही आपका जीवन बन जाता है। 7 तरह की विचारधाराएं, उनमें घुसे हुए हैं सारे इमोशंस, मनोभावनाएं, और अहम उनको जारी रखता है। और साल बेसाल निकल जाते हैं, महीने, साल, 10 साल, 20 साल। एक उम्र आती है, लगता है अरे जीवन जा रहा है और मैं तो इसमें ही डूबा हुआ हूं। इसको एक बार गहराई से देख लेंगे ना, तो इनकी पकड़ कम हो जाएगी, ध्यान में आनंद आने लगेगा, शून्यता को महसूस करना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि नहीं तो जीवन व्यर्थ ही जा रहा है, आप बस इसमें डूबे हुए हैं। So now we'll switch back to English. So we've been discussing the mind, how this mind takes control of our lives. And what is this mind? What Saraswati Ma says in this chapter 4, there are thoughts, and these thoughts, there are many kinds of thoughts, but we are focusing on 7 kinds of thought forms. What we call thought aggregates of thoughts in the book. And even perception is a thought aggregate. How? Because the perception of a child is very different. A vast blue sky is very different for the child than it is for an older person who is lost in their mind. Both look at the same sky. The child experiences an amazing sensation of the blue sky, of the vastness, of the joy in their body connecting to the sky. The adult hardly feels anything because they're lost in their mind. They also see the sky, but nothing moves in them. They're thinking one thought after another. So perceptions can have emotions and ego in them. And there are 7 thought aggregates. Perception is one of them. The next is judgments. All kinds of judgments. Judgments about society, about religion, about countries, about black and white way of looking at things, judging people, judging rich people, judging poor people, judging beggars, judging anyone, judging saints, judging gurus, judging your teachers, all kinds of judgments, they just continue. So this is second type of thought aggregate. And then there are beliefs. Beliefs are like, judgments that have become permanent. Some judgments can change, but beliefs don't change so easily. They can change, but not so easily. So these are hardcore truths that you have come to believe in them, and they are called beliefs. And beliefs, scientific beliefs, religious beliefs, all kinds of beliefs, beliefs about how relationships work, beliefs about anything and everything can exist. And these beliefs can also be colored by emotions. Some anger is there in the belief, some hate is there in the belief, some fear is there in the belief. These emotions infect your beliefs. And then sometimes ego, which is always there, it's in all seven thought aggregates. If you look at it in a very subtle manner, slight imprint of ego, your identity comes into your beliefs. So emotions and ego, they come into these thought aggregates, and it becomes like a network, like a vast net that you cannot escape from. And then there are what we call perspectives, perceptions, judgments, beliefs, perspectives. Each person with their particular upbringing, parents, society, education, friendship circles, in the end, they end up with a perspective about life, perspective about society, perspective about money, perspective about religion, perspective about medicine. Is Ayurveda better than allopathy? Is homeopathy better than Ayurveda? Whatever. These are perspectives. This is your way of thinking. And be careful, because even perspectives can have an element of ego. You may have inherited the perspectives because you love your father and your father thinks in a certain way. He thinks in a particular way, has a particular perspective, and you just inherit that. And because you love your father, that comes. Why do you love that perspective so much? Because your identity is attached to it. So slight ego comes in it. And after these four perceptions, judgments, beliefs, perspectives, then we are left with expectations, intentions, and identities. What are expectations? We all know them. We all start playing roles, and then we start expecting, I should be served like this. I expect this from people, from friends, from my wife, from my husband. Expectations. And you will see in many relationships, as I was saying, you're in a relationship and everything is good, happy, and you get married and everything starts falling apart because expectations start as soon as you get married. She's my wife, he's my husband, he should do this, she should do that. Now the friendship is gone. Why you met, why you fell in love, that gets crowded by expectations. and it ruins the relationship. Emotions come into the expectations, anger comes in. If it's too much, even hate comes in, fear comes in, and ego is always there. You see, this is the net of suffering we create. This is the vast network of thought aggregates which have emotions, and ego keeps them in there. So then, after expectations are your intentions. They can be subtle. Some injury can happen, and you can set an intention to take revenge. It may be subtle, but it's there. Or you can have a great intention of improving your life, doing more meditation. That's also a thought aggregate. So, all these intentions, but they can also have emotions and ego. And then the last one is identities. Who am I? I'm a man, I'm a woman. That's an identity also. I'm a Hindu, Christian, I'm a big cricket fan. I love this religion, that country. All of these are identities. And these identities can be many types, and you get attached to them. You want to be seen in a certain way. If you're a young person, you want to be seen as cool. I'm cool. That's an identity. I'm intellectual. Identity. I'm smart. Or you want to be famous. All of these things create your identities. And again, emotions are and ego are in them. So all these 7 thought aggregates, Saraswati Ma talks about them. They're all different kinds, and there can be more thought aggregates. She just focused on the main 7. And your ego and emotions live in them, and because they live in them, you are caught. Now, months will go by, years will go by, and you will live out certain identity, you will live out certain expectation, you will live with certain perspective, you'll carry these judgments, and years go by. And if you're lucky, you come to meditation and you realize, oh my God, I've been spending my life in this mind, and this is a trap. Because when I was a child, I didn't have this. And I still had happiness. I still had the wonder years. I still could feel the mountains in the sky like I don't anymore. Because I got too attached to this whole mind filled with thought aggregates. I'm being ruled by the mind. I've forgotten my body, forgotten my soul completely. And higher self, I have no idea about. I'm just living in the mind. Mind, the little iceberg that lives in the lakes of the body, sensations, body, that, that joy, that happiness you felt in the morning doing Devi Kriya. If you do Devi Kriya very deeply, you'll start feeling this joyous sensation in the body itself. The whole body is dancing with the breath. You've forgotten that. that joy of just being a body, because the mind has taken over with thought aggregates, emotions, and ego all combined together. It's like a network. And in this net, this is the karmic net. This karmic net, some of it you inherit from your past lives. Because even then you lived with an ego, with some thought aggregates, with certain beliefs, which leave a karmic imprint, and then you're born in this life. And as the ego gets activated in your puberty, around your puberty, and then you take certain decisions how to live your life. And that same karmic pattern is recreated. And again, you get lost in these thought aggregates. Again, the emotions get entwined with them. The ego starts manifesting. And the life is spent in this. Why is this important for you to know? You might say, I'm doing Anapanasati, I'm feeling the joy. Because your Anapanasati or your Devi Kriya or any other breath process you do, you will not progress as much if you remain captured by your mind. And Saraswati Ma, through this book, we are discussing here how you are caught in this trap of the mind. If you can see the trap, if you can see the prison, maybe you can walk out of it. Humanity, each human is like living in a prison with the door which is unlocked. You just have to open the door and walk out. But you've started liking the prison. You've started liking your identities. You like to live in your expectations. You love your perspectives. You're attached to them. You like your judgments. You have so many of them. You like to live in your beliefs. And that's how you perceive the world, through this mind. It's a prison. It doesn't have the freedom that can take you to those experiences as a child, because you'll continuously live in this mind, trying to prove something, trying to prove your judgments are correct. You'll get into arguments. Why the judgments become arguments? Because your identity, your ego is attached to the judgments. You will try to prove what you're saying is right. And a lot of time is spent in that, a lot of discussions around your perspective versus mine, because the ego is attached to perspectives. So these thought aggregates netted into emotions and ego becomes your whole life. And that's the danger. The danger is that you will spend this entire life in the mind, in the iceberg. You'll never know the lakes of what your body is, how profound your body is. the sensations of the body when you do a good yoga practice, or when you go swimming, or when you do Devi Kriya, or do some dancing, being the body, being a healthy body. You will not know that if you are just spending your life in the mind. And you will not know the feelings of the soul, the deep unconditional love, the primordial joy, great compassion like Kuan Yin Ma has, great love like Jesus has, great forgiveness like Jesus has or Mother Mary has, the feeling of complete joy, abundance of Lakshmi Ma. All of these soul feelings, you will not know them if you are just living in the mind. And then beyond the soul feelings, the connection to divine beings, the love of Krishna, the joy of merging with the divine being, heightened state of consciousness, what Radha experienced, what Meera knew. You will not know that if you just live in the mind. So what today's chapter is, it's a reflection on how we are mostly in our minds. So mostly we remain the iceberg. We do not become the lakes of the body sensations. We do not become the oceans of soul feelings. And we don't become the infinity of our higher self, connected, vibrating with the world, connecting earth and heavens. We don't become all of that because the mind has taken over. So, what to do then? What's the way out? ये सब सुनकर कैसे आगे बढ़े? पहले ये जानना है कि ये जो मन है, जिसकी विचारधाराएं हैं 7 प्रकार की, जो जुड़ी हुई हैं भावनाओं से, मनोभावनाओं से, मन की जो इमोशंस हैं उनसे और आपके अहम से, पहले ये जानना, ये देखना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि ये ही आपके दुखों का कारण है। जो आपकी सफ़रिंग है, वो आपको दिखती नहीं, मगर मन में खोए रहने से, अहम में रहने से, भावनाओं में रहने से, मन की भावनाओं, मनोभावनाओं में रहने से आपका बहुत समय व्यर्थ जाता है। बचपन से बड़े होते हैं, बड़े से बूढ़े हो जाते हैं। मन को मन को शांत करने के लिए तो आप सोचते हैं मन जो चाहता है उसे करने दें। और रास्ता है मन को हटाना नहीं, मगर मन को अपने शरीर, आत्मा और आत्मन, हायर सेल्फ में ले आना, उसमें पिघला देना। आप शरीर बनकर थोड़ा जीना सीखिए। आत्मा के स्वरूप में रहिए। आत्म भावनाओं को जानिए। उस आत्मा से, उस शरीर से शरीर बनते हुए सांसों के द्वारा आत्मा में जाते हुए फिर वापस अपने मन को देखिए। तो ये जो पाठ है ना अब, कि कैसे मन से छुटकारा मिले। पहले तो ये समझना होगा कि मन आपको एक माया जाल में फंसाए रखता है। कि मन की ही माया है और वो आपके दुखों का कारण है। जब ये पूरा समझ लिया तो फिर आप मुड़ेंगे शरीर की प्रक्रियाओं की तरफ, सांसों की तरफ, योग की तरफ। योगाभ्यास भी करेंगे तो मन शांत होता है। और मेडिटेशन सांसों की तरफ। तो इन सब से जो यादें हैं, क्योंकि आप एक एक शून्यता थे, एक आत्मा थे, दिव्य आत्मा जो गिरने आई है, अब वापस लौटने आई है। तो सारी स्मृतियां हैं। आप जानते हैं कि वो शून्यता क्या है, केवल उसमें वापस जा रहे हैं। तो पहले ये जानना होगा कि मन पकड़े हुए आपको जाने नहीं देगा। हर छोटे छोटे रूप में। सुबह उठेंगे आप, देवी क्रिया कर सकते हैं, योग कर सकते हैं, मगर सबसे पहले आपको फोन दिखेगा और थोड़ी ही देर में कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच जाएंगे। ऐसा हो सकता है। सोशल मीडिया, यूट्यूब, मन चलने लगेगा। उस तरह के वीडियो देखेंगे जो आपकी जो विचारधाराएं हैं 7 प्रकार की, उनसे मैच होती हैं। आपका दृष्टिकोण जिससे मैच होता है, उस तरह के वीडियो पसंद आएंगे। जहां आपके आपकी धारणाएं, जहां आपकी मान्यताएं, उनके बारे में वीडियोस हैं, उनको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, वो देखेंगे। और फिर ऐसा नहीं कि सारे ही सब कुछ सोशल मीडिया पे खराब, ऐसा नहीं कह रहे, मगर आप उस दुनिया में बहुत जल्दी चले जाते हैं। और ये सारी जो कंपनियां हैं, इंस्टा, फेसबुक, ये सब बनाई गई हैं आपको वहां पर रखने के लिए। जैसे कोक है ना, पेप्सी कोक है, उसमें भी वो थोड़ा कुछ डालते हैं ताकि आप एडिक्टेड हो जाएं। एक कोक पिएंगे और पीना चाहेंगे। एक नशा है। तो ये आपके लिए काम नहीं कर रही, ये केवल चाहते हैं कि आप सोशल मीडिया पर रहें बस। तो जिस तरह के वीडियो आप देखते हैं उसको और दिखाएंगे आपको। धीरे धीरे एडिक्शन, मन चलता रहता है। सोचिए बचपन में, अगर आपका बचपन तो शायद इंटरनेट में नहीं गुजरा होगा, अगर आपकी उम्र 40 के ऊपर है, तो वो बचपन में क्या था, वो शून्यता में क्या खुशी थी, और अब कहाँ हम खो जाते हैं मन में। तो समाज, सोसाइटी, कमर्शियल इंटरेस्ट, ये सब आपको मन के अंदर रखेंगे, क्योंकि उससे प्रॉफिट बनते हैं इनके। जितना आप सोशल मीडिया में जाएंगे उतना एडवर्टाइजिंग रेवेन्यूज बनते हैं। तो एक गेम होता खेला जा रहा है, उसको गहराई से देखिए कि क्या मैं अपना समय व्यर्थ कर रहा हूं। और इसलिए मन से ऊपर आना, शरीर में जीना, शरीर बन जाना, शरीर से आत्मा बन जाना, इसकी बहुत गहराइयां हैं। इतना आत्मा बन सकते हैं आप कि शरीर इतना लाइट हो जाएगा कि ग्रेविटी, गुरुत्वाकर्षण की शक्ति भी उसको पकड़ में नहीं रख सकती। इतना लाइट हो सकता है शरीर। जब सोल फीलिंग्स इतनी भर जाती हैं, जब राधा की भक्ति इतनी तीव्र, इतनी गहरी हो जाती है, तो उसका इंद्रधनुषी शरीर बन सकता है, रेनबो बॉडी बन सकती है। तो अपने को सीखना है कि इस जीवन में आए हैं तो कैसे थॉट्स और इमोशंस, ये जो मन का क्षेत्र है, इससे उठें और एक एक जो अनंतता है, चेतना की अनंतता है, जीवन की अनंतता है, उसको, उसमें जाना है। बोलते हैं ना, स्पेस एक्सप्लोर करना चाहते हैं लोग। इलॉन मस्क जाना चाहता है मार्स पे, अब तो नहीं जाना चाहता, अब मून पे जाना चाहता है। स्पेस एक्सप्लोरर्स तो एक इनर स्पेस है, बाहर की स्पेस नहीं, अंदर की अनंतता है, जिसका द्वार शरीर से खुलता है, मन से इतना आसानी से नहीं खुलता। सांसों से खुलता है, शरीर से खुलता है और आत्मा की ओर जाता है। और फिर आत्मा में एक द्वार है जो आत्मन में खुलता है, हायर सेल्फ में। और फिर उस हायर सेल्फ में भी एक द्वार है जो आपके हायर हायर सेल्फ से खुलता है। एक अनंतता है जिसमें जाना है। और उस अनंतता का रास्ता है शरीर, सांस, आत्मा की भावनाएं और एक शून्यता जो महसूस की जाती है आनापानासति में, योग करने में, ध्यान लगाने में, प्रकृति में जाने में, एक असीम प्यार करने में भी एक शून्यता है। कोई विचार नहीं, बस केवल प्रेम। इसलिए सेवा करते हैं हम। तो सारे अध्याय का ये ही सबसे बड़ा मैसेज है कि कैसे इन दरवाजों को खोलो, कैसे थॉट्स, इमोशंस, विचार, मनोभावनाएं से शरीर में आओ, आत्मा में आओ। So this is what we've been discussing in this chapter, from thoughts and emotions to soul feelings. Because there's an infinity that you can explore that lives within you. But you are in the prison of this iceberg. And the prison is like a prison with an open door. The door seems shut, but there's no lock on it. It's not that anybody is keeping you in the prison, but you have become attached to the prison of the mind. So you don't get out. If you truly feel the suffering of the prison, this mind will just create more drama, more suffering. Then you want to get out. But until you see the suffering of the prison, you feel it's good. Life is good with my judgments, with my perspectives, beliefs, with my so many identities. And I wake up every day and I work on being my mind, who I am. And then another day I wake up and again I be my mind. And another day I wake up and again I be my mind. And you just be your mind for the rest of your life. And the life finishes. There was a chance to get out of the mind and explore infinity, explore the inner world, explore the spaces between breath where you feel this bliss, explore the immensity of love with nature, with trees, with mountains, with children. Experience them to a very deep level and then merge with the divine, with the infinity, with your higher self. And all of those opportunities are gone if you just stick with your mind. And that's the message of this chapter, how to move, how to get out of this prison. Start living, being the body, soul, and higher self. That's the invitation. Okay, so we didn't cover every aspect about the chapter, but let's see if there are any questions. अगर आपके कोई सवाल हैं इस चैप्टर के बारे में, इसका मेन मैसेज यही है कि अपनी विचारधाराओं से उठकर शरीर, आत्मा, आत्मन बनना है। जितना ऊपर उठेंगे उतनी शून्यता ज्यादा है। शरीर में मन से ज्यादा शून्यता है, मगर एक असीम आनंद भी है। आत्म भावनाओं में असीम प्यार, असीम आनंद, असीम स्वतंत्रता, असीम शांति, इनमें और भी खालीपन है। और इससे भी ज्यादा खालीपन, खालीपन यानी कि खालीपन नेगेटिव रूप में नहीं, शून्यता के रूप में। मन से खाली हैं, आनंद से भरे हैं, एक असीम स्वतंत्रता से भरे हैं। इसमें आ जाना, इस अनंतता में आ जाना, ये है इस पूरे अध्याय का सारांश। अब कोई क्वेश्चंस, कोई प्रश्न इसके बारे में? Anyone wants to raise their hand? चैट में है कुछ? Anybody wants to raise hand? Yeah.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Good morning, all.
Hello, Sonia.
Sir, just wondering, could be it is a useless question, sir. So, but how to feel body sensation while doing Devi Kriyas or yoga? Like, I want to feel that, but how to do that?
Just a good question. And we don't mean body sensations like in a very It's a very gentle, pleasant feeling of joy. It's not like you're feeling some amazing sensations or anything like that, but that pleasantness, that invisible joy, which starts being recognized as just being the body. There's a very, very clear feeling, this is my body, and the body is feeling the joy of this dance with the breath. And the question you asked, how to increase the intensity a little bit more. What does that mean? Every part of the Devi Kriya, fully be in the breath, fully surrender to it. If you're doing, you know, first stage, then, completely feel the breath, fully surrender to the breath. Don't have a little bit of mind is working and I'm also breathing. Then it's not complete. You have to totally surrender to every part of Devi Kriya. And when you do that, a subtle joy starts arising in the body. It starts happening automatically. And there's a thankfulness to the body. There's an acknowledgement to the body and also the soul. Because what's happening is the mind is being emptied out. So soul enters the body more fully, which is the joy you're feeling. The light of the soul comes in the body. And Devi Kriya is mainly, if it's a little harder for you to come to that state with Anapanasati. But I would say more than 90% of people who are doing Anapanasati could benefit, even more, 95, 99%. Because it takes you that place to the place of emptiness very fast. And then if you have time, you can just stay in Anapanasati for another 30 minutes, 45 minutes after Devi Kriya. It's just a process. Anapanasati is the peak of the mountain. But to get to the peak of the mountain, you start at the base, at the foundation. How you walk at the base of the mountain is on the two legs. How you walk around the peak is using your hands and legs. The message is there's a different type of walk depending on where you are. So if your mind has thoughts, Devi Kriya is beautiful. If your mind has become empty, Anapanasati is the way to stay there. That's how they're related. So yeah, I would say be in the intensity. Like, do you feel you are completely doing Devi Kriya when you're doing it?
As I reached the third stage, third section, then I start feeling.
Yeah, so you slowly come to that. Yeah, so that is when you're feeling that joy of the body. It's third stage is very soft and subtle, but intensity is an inner movement. You're fully engaged with it. And that's how you can feel that joy. Yeah. Okay. Any other question?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Sonia. Oh, okay. We have some questions in the chat. One was, can we switch on the video? Yes, we will try sometimes. Sometimes my eyes are closed and I'm speaking. So, and then sometimes I like your eyes to be closed also after Devi Kriya. And then you're just listening to me. So when we turn the videos on, then sometimes it goes away from the our minds become more active, but we can do a combination. Okay, Indrabhuti and Indrahuti. No, what are you saying? Indranubhuti and Indrabhuti. Yes, this is, I'm not an Hindi expert, but I would think these are the same things, but you'll have to simply go on one of your AI portals, ChatGPT it, maybe you'll find something or look at a dictionary. I think they are the same. Yes, recent travel in Nepal. Great. You raised that. I was going to share some of that. So, in this travel in Nepal, I went to a few places which have basically the energy of Shiva. So, there was a Shiva temple close to Bhadrapur in Nepal, which is East Nepal. And so different experiences of the Shiva energy, the Rudra energy, and meditated in these places. And Nepal is very special because it's, while it's mostly Hindu, 80-90%, 15% Buddhist, but the consciousness of Buddhism is very mixed with the consciousness of Shiva. Shiva and Buddha come together there in a very deep way. And of course, Buddha was born in Nepal, so close to Lumbini, where they have Lumbini is an amazing place to see. I've not been there recently. Um, so Nepal is very special in that way. It's got the Himalayas, where in one of our stories in the next book, and which is why I went there, Shiva's Trishul, when Himalayas were born, they were born because the Trishul entered the earth around where Himalayas are, and the Trishul basically made the Indian plate and Eurasian plate, these are the two plates underneath the earth, collide. When they collided, the earth rose and Himalayas were formed. So Himalayas have some interesting and deep, very deep connection with Lord Shiva energy. And Nepal was a place like that. Then I went to some other places. I came closer to Kathmandu, also went to the uh, Pashupatinath temple, which actually has a very deep Shiva energy. So I meditated in these temples. And the experiences deepened with the Shiva energy, connecting with that energy to bless the book. Also, there were around the temple, there is a Parvati temple. So, connecting with Parvati Ma energy there and feeling just the divinity. Many times, these places where we go, the earth is still resonating with that energy. That's why we go to these power places. A profound experience I had, which is in the next book, is okay. I'll share this story with you. It's in the next book. I'll share it here. Um, in Tibet, there is a path with Padmasambhava, Guru Rinpoche. He is an amazing master, enlightened master, one of the highest humanity has known. In some ways, some would even say he's a Krishna of Buddhism. You know, like Krishna, he is also very active in the world. He annihilates all the negative, not annihilates, that's the wrong word. He transforms and transmutes the negative energies and makes them into protectors of religion, makes them into dharmapalas. They say he was born as an 8-year-old, fully alive. There are three kinds of births. One is a normal human birth, requires both a man and a woman. Second is immaculate birth, like Kunti gave birth to Pandavas, or Mother Mary gave birth to Jesus, where you don't need the man. The joy is so immense in the woman's body that creates the seed, and it's basically without biology, but the woman gives the birth. Kunti gave birth to Pandavas and Mother Mary. And third kind of birth is how Radha was found on the lotus, how Draupadi came from fire, how Padmasambhava also came as an 8-year-old boy from skies. He just came. That is the third kind. That's a very high manifestation, very, very powerful. The joy is so immense that you just manifest as a boy and you are there. So in Nepal is when I had this realization. There is a place south of Kathmandu, southeast, where there's a big statue of Padmasambhava. And my two books had a contradiction. The first book said, Lakshmi Ma said, Padmasambhava is Vishnu. Vishnu is Buddha also. That is what I thought. But when I came to Nepal, I kept feeling the Shiva energy in Padmasambhava. Shiva like stories there are, in the energy of Shiva. So I kept meditating Padmasambhava. I even have a very short video on Padmasambhava, that there are many incarnations, many manifestations of Vishnu in Buddhism, including Gautam Buddha, then Avalokiteshvara, who becomes Kuan Yin, that's also Vishnu's incarnation, and then even Padmasambhava. They're all, in Hinduism, we have our 10 incarnations, but Vishnu is incarnating even in Buddhism. So that's what I believed, but I kept feeling the energy of Shiva in Padmasambhava. And that's when it came one day. It was very clear. This was a meeting of the higher selves. So when Shiva, it was very deep, when Shiva and Vishnu joined together, their higher selves join, that is Padmasambhava, that is Guru Rinpoche. So Padmasambhava is simultaneously Buddha and Vishnu. He's half that, and he's simultaneously Shiva. He's a rainbow body master like Mahavatar Babaji. The stories where Padmasambhava and Yeshe Syogal, they, after their deep enlightenments in Marathika caves in Nepal, after all of that happened, they simply flew into Bhutan. There's a place in Bhutan called Tiger's Nest. There's a very well-known place. I've been there. Bhutan, by the way, people who've not been to, they were looking to do some spiritual travel. Bhutan has a very special energy, like Nepal. like Tibet. These are amazing places. So there's a place called Tiger's Nest. It's a big hike, 3-4 hours hiking. And you get there and you can see the imprints, the fingerprints on the walls of these great masters. So because he had a rainbow body, he simply flew into Bhutan. So there are masters at that level, and it was a very deep feeling when I realized this is when Shiva and Vishnu are in one higher self. There are in Hinduism also, there are stories of Shiva and Vishnu when Vishnu becomes Mohini and Shiva is attracted to her in the feminine form. They even have a child and all that, Hari, her, whatever we say. In Hinduism also there is. But this was a meeting of Buddha and Shiva. Remember, Patriji would always keep one Buddha and one Shiva for like 20 years until that one year when we had Lakshmi, Saraswati, Parvati Ma come on the stage. Before then, it used to be Shiva and Buddha. And Padmasambhava is where Shiva, Buddha come together. What is this coming together? In a way, this coming together is having both the feminine and masculine in another way. Shiva is the more masculine energy, and Buddha is a little more feminine energy, and working with both. So in Kali Yuga, we need to work with both. Right now, what Devis are telling me that, yeah, there is divine feminine, all of that, but we need to increase the masculine energy of manifestation. Soon there'll be a lot more manifestation on the Devi path. So that is where the Shiva energy comes in, connecting with that energy in Nepal, different Shiva temples, and uh, and this new wisdom about who is Padmasambhava that's coming in, I think, chapter 21 or 22, or I forget which chapter, where Shiva Buddha or Shiva Vishnu is Padmasambhava, the rainbow body master. Anyway, a little bit of sharing about all this. So, yeah, connected deeply and then felt the blessings for the book from Shiva Parvati, and now the book is in the typesetting stage. So, as soon as it's typeset, then we'll print it and then it'll be out on Amazon. 1,000 Flowers of Love. Yeah, okay, now. Oh, yeah, we have to have one separate session on the Nepal experience in Telugu. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to come to a Telugu session with anybody. If there's a translator, we can definitely do that. The spelling of the Tibetan master is, let me write it here, Padmasambhava. He's called Guru Padmasambhava, also known as Guru Rinpoche. Same too. Some people call him Guru Rinpoche. He was an 8th century master. By the way, okay, if you have a little more time, I'll share this also, a few minutes. He came with, his life was spent spreading enlightenment, and the two most amazing consorts or women he had, enlightened women, and we talk about that also. That's why I love this book also. It's gets into these new stories in more detail. One was Mandarva. Mandarva was a princess born to a king, and it is not so clear exactly where it was. Some area in Swat Valley, which is now in Pakistan, maybe. But at that time, it was all, Hindu. And Mandarva is I don't know how many people know about Mandarva, but in Buddhism, they don't talk so much about her. But what they talk about her is that she had the most highest perfect realization of rainbow body ever. Like she was the most realized rainbow body master. She had attained all that could be attained as a human. Again, like Mahavatar Babaji, just rainbow body. And her story is that she grew up and she was incredibly beautiful, and she is incarnation of Lakshmi Ma, continuing from the Yashodhara stream. There's a story in the book that Yashodhara, Buddha's wife, right? So Yashodhara's karma, whatever was left, plays out and she becomes Mandarva. And Buddha's father, Shuddhodana, in this life comes as Mandarva's father. And he again plays out the same drama. With Buddha, with Gautama, he played the drama. He wanted his son to be a great king. And the son rejected and became Buddha, saint. When Buddha left, Shuddhodana became very close to Yashodhara. He respected her. She also practiced like Buddha in the palace only, but he became close to her like his daughter. And that comes out in this life, where Mandarva's father is Shuddhodana. But the karma is the same. He wants Mandarva to marry a great prince and become a great queen. She doesn't like that idea. Like Buddha, Mandarva, who's incarnation of Yashodhara, she is on to a spiritual journey. He brings many suitors to her, many princes from many kingdoms. They all come and she rejects every one of them. She says, I'm not interested in marriage. But she's very beautiful. So many people want to marry her, many princes. The king gets so upset, the father, he imprisons her, puts her in jail in the palace only. And somehow Padmasambhava, who's so enlightened, he's a rainbow body master, he is able to tell by sensing energies that Mandarva, who's Lakshmiji's incarnation, is in the prison. He's a rainbow body master, so he can do anything. So he somehow frees her from the prison. He is able to open the locked gate or whatever through his miraculous powers. He can do any miracles because he's a rainbow body master. So he frees her. He frees her and then she goes with him. She instantly recognizes the spiritual master he is. They fall in love and they are together. The king finds that out. They say, Padmasambhava says he can, he would like to be with her and marry her. The king refuses. He's so angry, he gets them arrested and they make they make this thing where they will be, and they make a pyre of wood, and they'll light them up alive and basically burn them in this fire. So they make both of them sit on this pyre, and then they light it. And the story goes, as the fire is lit, intensity increases. Right in front of them, this whole fire starts transforming, and slowly it becomes water, and then slowly it becomes a lake. And they are both sitting on this lotus in that lake. This is all there in the scriptures. And then the king, who is Mandarva's father, looks at them, and then he says, okay, you are blessed to be together. And then he surrenders. So this is like in Buddha's life, how Shuddhodana surrendered. In this life, he tries to make Yashodhara into a great queen. That's his desire, but she becomes the enlightened Mandarva, who eventually then does not stay with Padmasambhava throughout, because Padmasambhava's journey goes to Tibet. He goes from India to Nepal. They go to Nepal. They practice in Maratika cave, some tantric practices. They both get more enlightened. They both receive more empowerments for rainbow body realization. Then he goes on his journey to Nepal. She goes through with a women's circle, and she has her own practices. We don't know so much about what happens later after those practices, but the entire Buddhism says that Mandarva attained the highest perfection of rainbow body light, rainbow light body. Then Padmasambhava goes to Tibet, and there's a story of Saraswati Ma. This is also there in scriptures. You can type Yeshe Syogal. I can type it over here. Yeshe Syogal. And you can look it up. Now, Padmasambhava is quite a master, rainbow body master. He can fly to places. He's in Tibet at the invitation of King Ditsen Trisong, who is a Tibetan king, who is very interested in Buddhism actually. He wants to spread Buddhism, but he doesn't know how, because every time they're trying to build a monastery, something happens and the monastery gets destroyed. Something or the other keeps happening. 2, 3 times they try to build it, but it gets destroyed. And there are some negative energies, and they won't let him build Buddhist monastery. So he hears about Guru Padmasambhava. The king invites Padmasambhava. Padmasambhava goes to Tibet at his invitation. He goes there, and by that time, another story had unfolded of Yeshe Syogal, the name I typed. Yeshe is the one Padmasambhava has been yearning for, because he's been saying in his meditations, Saraswati, oh Saraswati, when are you coming? Because all of his enlightenment, he's not a writer, he's not a script writer. It needs to be written down, all the knowledge, all the wisdom. Saraswati is the one who writes wisdom. So he himself is, as I said, both Vishnu and Shiva together. So he's asking for Saraswati to come. And when he goes to Tibet, who does he find? The Tibetan king, Trisong, actually has married, technically married, but not really married Yeshe. And why did he marry Yeshe? Well, Yeshe is born in Tibet to, is a daughter of a tribal chief. And she's very beautiful. As she's growing up, um, different, not a tribal chief, some tribesman, was not a chief, but he was a normal guy. And she's born to him. and very beautiful. The word of her beauty spreads, and the chiefs of some different tribes, they want to marry her. And her life has some hardship because the father doesn't agree, but then the daughter, because the daughter doesn't want to. But these are very powerful people, the chief of some tribe, and there is another chief of another tribe. They're very powerful men, and they see how beautiful she is. They want to marry her. So one of these chiefs, he kidnaps her and he declares she's my wife. She doesn't agree. He chains her, and then somehow she's able to free herself. And as she is getting out and running away, she's found by the other chief. He gets her. He tries to marry her. She's not interested. Somehow the word spreads, and the king finds out that there's this very beautiful woman who all these tribal chiefs want to marry. He invites her. He goes to her and he puts a condition: I will marry you, but our relationship will be not like a traditional marriage. But I will save you from these tribal chiefs, and you can live in the palace and you can practice your spirituality. And after that, he invites Padmasambhava, and that's when Padmasambhava comes to the palace, and Yeshe is there, and their eyes meet, and they instantly recognize each other. He knows she's Saraswati. She knows he's this profound, she's not that enlightened by then, but she instantly knows that he's the divine being. The king blesses them, and then two of them, go away on their journeys together. So she becomes his next consort, and they are together and they practice their different practices they do there. And with him, she gets also fully enlightened, also becomes his equal. And then Yeshe wrote all of the third path of Buddhism, Vajrayana Buddhism. She's the one who wrote all the scriptures. But she didn't write them only with the pen. She wrote them with her mind. You know how consciousness can be put through the mind in different places? So in Buddhism, there is this system of putting these thought forms of knowledge, and they put them under the rocks, under the lakes, hide them different places. All of this was written by Yeshe and hidden in many places around Tibet. And then, like she did in Vedanta, Saraswati always starts a new path. She started many paths. So the whole Vedanta started with her story when Brahma didn't marry Saraswati, married Gayatri. She came and then she supposedly cursed all the gods, but she didn't curse. She just created spiritual paths for Ramayan, for this, for that. So that story is in there, Vedanta. Here, the story is that she starts Vajrayana Buddhism with Padmasambhava by by being a scribe, writing, and then through her mind also putting all this information. And in the third path in Buddhism, there is this method. There are scriptures which are hidden either in thought forms or in writing in sacred places, and masters are born who are called uh, these tertons, who are treasury revealers, who are basically people who are born, they'll get enlightened, and they'll find the particular scripture that was hidden by Yeshe under some rock or under in a lake or whatever, and then they will write that down, whatever Saraswati Ma said. This is a very interesting system. Why? Want to know the secret? Why? Look at what happened to Jesus. Jesus also came up with the writings which are in the Bible, but humanity, kings are not ready for such vast declarations that I'm the enlightened person, that this is the knowledge. So the knowledge itself has to be hidden. At the right time, the knowledge will be revealed. This is how Buddhism skillfully protected their scriptures. Almost all scriptures have been corrupted. Christian Bible is very corrupted. Half of the Jesus sayings are just not there. If you want to really read what Jesus said, read some of the Gospels, Gospel of Thomas. Osho has talked a lot about this. And Jesus is as profound as Buddha in these other Gospels. So they very narrowly describe Jesus in the Bible. He's much more profound. But what happens when you reveal scriptures very quickly is emperors and kings, they take over, they make changes. In the first book, we even say Ramayana is not what Ramayana was. Seventh part was added. Ram never told Sita, Lakshman, to take Sita away. That never happened. Valmiki reincarnated as Tulsidas and wrote Ramcharitramanas as Tulsidas. Ramcharitramanas doesn't have the seventh part. It's just not there. Why would Tulsidas not write the seventh part? He lived a long life. Even Akbar knew him. He was a great master. He had great visions of Hanuman and all that. He could see all of them. Why would he not write the seventh part? He didn't write the seventh part. Ramcharitamanas doesn't have it because it did not happen. So even Hindu scriptures have been changed. But Buddhist scriptures are very genuine, not changed. Why? Because of this system. All these scriptures were hidden, and you can look this up, you can research this. And then over the centuries, many masters who became enlightened, they would slowly reveal them, and that became Vajrayana Buddhism. And Vajrayana Buddhism is close to the path we are creating with these books. It's the divine feminine path of Buddhism where you have many deities. Normally, Buddhism doesn't have deities, they only have Buddha. But in Vajrayana, you have, practices with deities, with Vajrayogini, with Tara, 21 forms of Tara, with Padmasambhava, Anyway, all of these are coming in the next book, the stories of Mandarva and Yeshe and who is Padmasambhava and the connection with Shiva and a lot of this unfolds in Nepal. Marathika caves are in Nepal, and Nepal, Tibet, even Bhutan, very very special places, high energy places in the Himalayas. After all, Himalayas is where the Trishul came, and Mahavatar Babaji has been there for as long as Himalayas were born, so it's a very, we live in a very special place around there. So that's my stories. Good for today. Okay. So we will end it here and see you next week with chapter 5. I'm still not done with translation of chapter 4. Some words were difficult, but almost there. So I'll send it in the WhatsApp groups. And then we'll do chapter 5 next week. Any language translators, if you want to lead sessions, Mondays we try to do Telugu. If somebody wants to do Hindi, I will have the Hindi chapter done today or tomorrow. So you'll have it available for Thursday. You can do chapter 4. English we can do on Saturdays. Anybody wants to, just write a message in the groups that you want to lead a session, circle, and you can lead it, and you can, uh, read the book. We can do a book reading, chapter reading. We want people to do that on their own. So, write in the groups. Okay, namaste. Have a good morning, and then we will see you next week. Thank you all for joining. If anybody wants to I think the chat, yeah, all good. Okay, so I'll close this session now. Thank